Congratulations on signing up for Legal Issues in Aviation. I think you're going to find this a really interesting paper. It's going to be a lot different to many of the other papers that you will have taken in the School of Aviation, but the law is something that will impact on you as you move into your career as an aviation professional, whether you're flying or working for an airline or an airport. If you're flying, you're subject to the flight rules, and those change as you move across international borders and over the high seas. So we'll learn a bit about that and why that is, how that works. If you are working for an airline, there's issues to do with ticketing and passenger claims for lost baggage, which are governed by international law, and you'll have a look at how that works. If you're working for an airport, there are environmental issues which are governed by domestic legislation, and we'll have a look at some of that as well. So, how does this paper work? Well, effectively it's broken up into two parts. The first part is intended to give you a very good introduction into how the law works. So we'll start off with the basic building blocks, the Constitution, and what that is, how that works. And of course we're actually working with the law of 4 different countries. That's because we have students who are in New Zealand, who are New Zealanders or from other countries. We have students who will be in Singapore. And of course, if you are working as an aviation professional, you'll also be dealing with other countries. The largest aviation market, of course, still being the United States. And so we'll look at US law and how that works in relation to the other countries that we're looking at. So we'll start off with the basic building blocks, move through, look at statutes, how they're made, how does the law all fit together. And basically the intention of that part A is to give you a really good framework from which to move on to the next part, which is much more focused. So the second part of with the first part of the course, part A, that's assessed by an assignment. And so the intention of the assignment is really for you to give concise answers to a number of fairly pointed questions relating to the material covered in part A. I'm not after an essay. There's no word limit because it's simply a case of writing down the answer. You don't need to be particularly waxing lyrical with that assignment. I think my experience suggests that at that point it tends to flush out any of you who are struggling with your English. And I know there will be students on the course for whom English is a second language, and some of you might find that more challenging than others. So I will say to you right up front that if you think you're one of those people, do use the resources that the university offers to help you with your English. In any case, if I think you're one of those people when I've read the assignments, then I'll certainly let you know. The reason that's important is because in part B you will select one of the research essay topics which are indicated in the paper guide, or alternatively you can come up with your own topic which you can get approval from me to write on, and then you will write a research and write an essay, and that is going to require you to exhibit a fairly advanced level of English, which I will be assessing how you go in that respect. So a good idea to make sure you're up to doing that before you embark on part B. Well, look, at the end of the day, I think this is a really interesting area. There's lots of different pieces, whether there's international law, the domestic law, there's the commercial aspects. There's a lot of really interesting stuff for you to get your teeth into. I hope you'll enjoy it. even though this is distance learning, I am contactable. You'll see my contact details in the paper guide, and I hope you enjoy the paper, and I'll speak to you later on. Thanks.